Thank you so much, distinguished guests, Janae Bonner, Mayor Stadler, Mayor Brown, Mayor Smith, Navy leaders, the crew of the USS Little Rock, and military families, and especially our veterans. Thank you so much for your service and all you represent. I'm proud to be with you. I'll clap to that. I'm proud to be with all of you to mark this occasion. On behalf of the citizens of Arkansas, it's an honor to have one of the Navy's more versatile warships named after our state's capital, the flagship city of Arkansas. This is an exciting day for the city of Little Rock, and it's great so many Arkansans are here to share that, to celebrate the commissioning of the USS Little Rock. This is very important to the community. I know it's something that citizens across the state are taking great pride in. The USS Little Rock's logo features one of the most recognizable images associated with Arkansas, the Razorback. The University of Arkansas football team was given the nickname after the head coach at the time said the team played like a bunch of wild Razorback hogs. I'm confident this crew, known as the War Hogs, will carry on that same work ethic. I'm also confident that the crew members don't already know how to call the hogs. The Arkansans here will volunteer to show you. Now, we're not going to do that today. We can't, because you have to have spirit fingers. I think my fingers are about to fall off if we do much of that. It's been more than 4 decades since the Navy had a ship named after the city of Little Rock. And again, we are thrilled to be changing that now. Today, as has been mentioned, marks the first time in the history of the Navy that a ship is being commissioned alongside her namesake. During its time as a light cruiser and then as a guided missile cruiser, the original USS Little Rock and its crew were vital to defeating growing threats. Thousands of sailors served aboard the USS Little Rock, including former Secretary of Navy Ray Mabus. And again, it's so good to have you here. And I know in visiting with the Secretary, the serving aboard the Little Rock had a profound effect on him, and I know it will on so many others that are about to serve. I'm confident that the crew of the new USS Little Rock will create many fond memories of their own. I've enjoyed following the U.S. Little Rock crew on its journeys from training, drills and inspections, the visit to Arkansas, the trip to the Bills game, and stops at VA hospitals. The updates we've seen displayed your dedication and commitment to this ship and its operational capability, as well as to the defense of our nation. It's hard to believe, but it's nearly 2.5 years since I attended the christening of this ship in Marinette, Wisconsin. Today is the culmination of years of planning, design, and construction. I'm grateful for the men and the women at Fincantieri Marinette Marine Shipyard and Lockheed Martin who are continuing to ensure our Navy is ready to face today's threats and tomorrow's challenges. The USS Little Rock is a critical component of our Navy's sea power. This ship and the strength and resolve of the Warhog crew is the future of the Navy, offering unique capabilities to defend evolving threats around the globe. In order to protect our national security, the Navy has to have the resources that it needs to stay ahead of the threats. We also need the resources to work toward the goal of a 355-ship fleet. Achieving this larger, more capable fleet will take decades to complete, but Congress is making it harder than it needs to be because of the way that we're spending taxpayer dollars. For nearly a decade, Congress has funded the government by passing continuing resolutions, followed later in the year by larger spending packages instead of approving our individual appropriations bills. Funding the government is the basic responsibility of Washington. It's an obligation that my colleagues and I on the Senate Appropriations Committee take very seriously as we craft the appropriations bills set priorities, and make difficult decisions as to how to spend taxpayer dollars wisely. We owe it to our service members, their families, all Americans. We owe it to the crew of the USS Little Rock that we as Republicans and Democrats, and this is not a partisan issue, this isn't about Democrats and Republicans not agreeing, this is something that we simply have to fix. Admittedly, Little Rock is not one of the places that you think of when you mention the Navy. Cities like Norfolk or San Diego or Pensacola likely come to mind. But Arkansas has a long tradition, a proud tradition of defending our nation. And now that commitment will continue as the USS Little Rock embarks on upcoming missions. That long history is being preserved in the Arkansas Military Veterans Hall of Fame. I've been honored to participate in the induction ceremony for the last 7 years, the 7 classes of the Hall of Fame. One of the first inductees was a Navy fighter pilot, Bernard Dunn. He enlisted in the Naval Reserve in 1942 and was commissioned, called to active duty as an aviation cadet, and commissioned as an ensign in 1943. He became an ace pilot, earning 2 Distinguished Flying Crosses and 4 Air Medals during his service in the Pacific during World War II. He is also honored at the National Naval Aviation Museum in Pensacola, Florida. We certainly are very, very proud of him. Many of you have read the book or seen the movie True Grit. It's about a young girl from Yale County, Arkansas, Maddie Ross, who persuades Marshal Rooster Cogburn of Fort Smith, Arkansas, to go after the murder of her father. She sought out Rooster Cogburn because he had true grit. Bernard Dunn of World War II, the people serving on the USS Little Rock have true grit, willing to do whatever their country asks, ordinary people doing extraordinary things. For this, we are so, so very proud. Our state doesn't border an ocean, but now the state capital will once again have a place on the high seas. This is a tremendous honor of the city of Little Rock, and I know that the ship and its crew will make Arkansas proud. Congratulations, and may God bless you, our country, and the USS Little Rock. Thank you very much.